This passion for supporting young people is what drives our next honoree to give back, Shaun Robinson. Shaun is the president of the Shaun Foundation for Girls and a dedicated activist for empowering girls and young women. Throughout her success as an award-winning journalist, host, and TV personality, she has always remained true to her personal mission to be of service to others. Shaun has lent her passion and influence to bettering the lives of girls through various organizations, including her service on the Girls Inc. Board of Directors. Through her foundation, she has taken her commitment to the next level to support local organizations empowering girls. I really enjoyed getting to know Shaun. She came from a family of strong women who were very influential in her life and knows how important sisterhood is. I also told her I want to start a nonprofit one day to help mothers and daughters. We both share a desire to help girls know just how powerful they are. Shaun, please join me on stage to accept your award for inspiring girls and women to be positive role models and creating opportunity for them to thrive.
You are a rock star. I am so happy that you are presenting this award to me today. I have a special message that I want to say to you. It has been an extraordinary experience serving on the National Board of Girls Inc. and hosting the LA Luncheon for 10 years. My special thanks to my dear friend, Judy Vredenberg, President and CEO of Girls Inc. You are my role model, giving me so much advice, especially when I left my job of 16 years at Access Hollywood and pursued what I'm passionate about, and that is empowering our girls and young women. For 16 years, Diamond, I interviewed the biggest stars in Hollywood, 16 Oscars, 16 Grammys, 16 Emmys, 16 Golden Globes, and hundreds of other award shows. There is no business that knows how to congratulate itself more than Hollywood. But my journey to the red carpet began 2,287 miles away in Detroit, Michigan. God blessed me with loving parents, my mother who still lives in Detroit, my dad who is my new angel in heaven. When I was little, my grandmother would turn on the evening news. There was this black woman named Beverly Payne. She was the first African-American female news anchor in Detroit. I would sit in front of the TV, mesmerized by her, knowing that she was different because she looked like me. There were no other black women on television that I saw. She was my first career role model. She set me on a path to journalism, even though I never met her in my life. Grandma convinced my parents that a Catholic school education would be best, and she picked out St. Cecilia's on Detroit's west side for me to start third grade. I started when I first entered St. Cecilia's chapel. There was this huge, enormous, jeweled picture of a black man on the altar named Jesus, my grandmother said. I didn't know exactly who Jesus was. I just knew I was supposed to ask him for stuff, and I did a lot. Diamond, there is a poem by the great Langston Hughes. It's called Mother to Son. It says, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters and boards torn up and places with no carpet on the floor. My parents divorced when I was 6 years old. I lived through seeing my big brother Michael in and out of prison, become a heroin addict. And nights, my mother and grandmother screaming in fear as he tore up the house looking for money for his fix, even taking my babysitting dollars that I had hidden in my room. As a young girl, I saw my uncle in his addiction pull our refrigerator off its base because my grandmother didn't have any more money to give him. There were times when I ran into my bedroom and hid under my pillow and asked that man painted on the ceiling to make it go away. My brother's life ended by a gunshot on the streets. My uncle's 5 shots to the chest. I lived through one of the most notorious eras of drugs and violence on the streets of Detroit. My brother's death made one sentence in a local paper. By the grace of God, I was saved. I was accepted into Spelman College in Atlanta, an all-girls HBCU, historically black college. By the way, historically black colleges were not pioneers of school choice. Spelman was founded by two white women who, despite the threats of violence, created a college for women who had been former slaves. It was not school choice. It was their only choice. Don't get me started. At Spelman, I learned the value of sisterhood and to live by our school hymn, to be beacons of heavenly light, undaunted by the fight. I got my first job after graduation at a small TV station in my hometown of Detroit, and this was so exciting for me because my mom and dad and grandparents were so proud that their little girl made it. I was determined to work as hard as I could. I learned how to write, report, and edit. I even created a talk show that became really popular and ended up being written up in the local papers as Detroit's own Oprah. My career was taking off until one day a senior official, about 35 years my senior, at the station asked me to come to his office. He pushed me up against the door and tried to kiss me. The following week, he took me off of my talk show and demoted me to street reporting. The next week, I went into work, left a note on my desk, went out for lunch, and never came back. Still shaken by this experience, I went on to get a reporter anchor job in Flint, Michigan, which lasted for 2.5 months before the news director told me this TV thing was not for me and let me go. I remembered that Spelman hymn, Undaunted by the Fight. I got a job in Milwaukee as a medical reporter and anchor, and while I loved it, I was tired of covering the car crashes, the house fires, and murders of local news and wanted to do a show, I said, like Entertainment Tonight. I searched for an agent, but none would sign me as a client, telling me that those entertainment jobs were too hard to get into and there were only a couple of spots for black women. So I didn't tell anyone my dreams. I went on to become an anchor and reporter in Austin, Texas, and then Miami. But as my agent was sending tapes to the local news shows, I was on the side sending them to the entertainment shows. And then that black man on the ceiling came through. Access Hollywood saw a tape of mine. Access Hollywood saw a tape of mine and hired me as the weekend anchor for 16 years. Someone pointed out to me that I anchored longer on one national entertainment show than anyone except for Mary Hart. So, okay, there you go. Diamond, don't you let anybody tell you that because of where you come from or what you have been through that you cannot achieve your dreams. We live in a society that profits from your self-doubt. Diamond, you have an obligation. In the beginning, on the red carpet, I was one of the only sisters out there, but I knew young girls like you were watching me just like I watched Beverly Payne. And as we got more celebrity obsessed, I wanted to help girls become more comfortable in their own skin, and that's why I wrote my book, Exactly As I Am. Diamond, I brought you a copy, just like you asked me to. Today, I am developing my own talk show and producing, and I created the Shaun Foundation for Girls. It's a grant-making foundation that helps small grassroots nonprofits empower girls. Diamond, you said you wanted to start a homeless shelter for mothers with children. Remember, the things that you are passionate about are not random. They're your calling. So, Diamond, I have an assignment for you. The Shaun Foundation for Girls has started a movement, and I would like your participation, okay? You are part of a very powerful, powerful group of young ladies. You were born between November 9th, 1998, and November 3rd, 2002. And that means you were not old enough to vote in this last presidential election. However, you will be for the next. You are what we call the next girl voter. You have the future of this country in your hands, and you must use your voice. I want you to take out a notebook, not your phone that can fall in the toilet. I want you to take out a notebook. And for the next 4 years, I want you to write down everything you see and everything you hear, issues you are concerned about, what's happening in our government, things you like and things you want changed. It is important that you are committed because when your time comes, you will have your own information and you will not be swayed by fake news, alternative facts, or whatever other distractions like emails that people will try to throw in your path. Do you understand? Just as a woman I never met set me on a career course to becoming a journalist, an Emmy Award-winning journalist, young girls will be looking at you and you will be influencing their future and what it holds for them. Never hide under those pillows. You fall down 7 times, sister, you get up 8, okay? Be true to your name, Diamond. Be true to your name. You are a precious stone. Diamond is the hardest naturally occurring substance. You are tough and you have a big sister in me who will always be there for you. Thank you, and God bless you.